This is Miss Melinda. Welcome to Miss Melinda's Spontaneous Smart Diva Show. How's all my subscribers and fans doing tonight? So, the weekend's here tomorrow. So, are you going to go out and have some fun? It's like 80 degrees in the daytime here today. Then the temps drop. It's been like 75, 78 degrees and sunny and hot, like in the day. And then it drops, Yeah, it's just like last September. The same thing again. Now we're in October. Oh, yeah, we're gonna be to a second week. And it's warm and sunny. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah. Okay. So all our classes are always a surprise now, right? Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to teach you till today. I had to browse the book. And so I came up with, I didn't want to do birds for a while, but they got a whole bunch of stuff on birds, whole bunch, and they mingle into other like species. It's real weird. But anyway, this one's migration, and that's an exciting part of birds. So I said, okay, since it's migration, that can be interesting. I love the migration of birds. Here to me, well, we can't talk religion, but let's just say when the birds fly in a V, like a V shape, all together, that is like somebody. I'm not saying who, I don't know, I'm not saying who, but somebody created those birds to know how to fly in a V. And we're going to find out why. Okay? So, birds and migration. Okay? Humans, I have to get relaxed. I've been running my ass off. Okay. So, here we go. Humans. Okay, I'm having trouble with this piece of paper. Okay. I need to be closer maybe, but my head will get cut off. Okay, humans have long been fascinated by the way certain birds appear. Just for the summer or the winter and then disappear, only to return a year later. Okay? This movement is known as migration. Typically, a migrating bird travels between one region that offers winter feeding and another that provides the ideal conditions for summer breeding. That's interesting, right? I'm dying. Here's the part I'm wanting you to hear. I think this is so fascinating. It's a natural thing, Whoever created it, it's a natural thing for these birds to fly together in a V formation. Okay, isn't that fascinating? I'm sure you've seen them in the sky like that lots of times. Okay, the title to this is Why Do Some Birds Fly in V, like victory? V like victory? Why do some birds fly in V formations? So the birds are all in a big V like that. Yeah, and flying across the sky perfectly. They don't lose. Not one bird steps out of line. Some birds, including geese. We had a goose. Oh, and I miss it too. Our goose used to come up from the horse stables and climb up the big hill to our house and go in the big, huge sliding glass windows and look at my mom's kitty cat, Miss Kitty. They used to look at each other through the glass. I don't know where the other cats were at the time. This is probably before I had some of the cats I brought home and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, our goose would come up from the barn like this, knowing this is my home. And he would look inside, just stand there. It's the dining room, but we had Pella windows. Pella windows, you know, these aren't no cheap windows, sliding glass door windows. No, it's my father. Including geese. Some birds, including geese, migrate and, let me look at you, in V formations. Okay, this saves energy. Okay, there you go. This saves energy for the whole flock. The leading bird cuts through the air, comma, creating a slipstream. It's one word. Slip, like you wear a slip, and a stream of water. It's one word, slipstream. So let me repeat this sentence. The leading bird cuts through the air, comma, creating a slipstream that pulls along the bird behind it. Interesting. I never knew that. That pulls along the bird behind it. This slipstream carries right to the tail of the formation, so that each bird, comma, except the leader, comma, gets help from the bird in front of it. Every bird takes its turn leading. Oh, so each bird takes a turn leading, so the other guys get a break. Yeah, just like when you're driving in a car across America on a vacation, you all got to take turns driving. Yeah. Every bird took its turn leading so that no bird becomes exhausted. Every bird took its turn leading so that no bird becomes exhausted. Isn't that fascinating? But somebody had to put that in their heads, right? Okay. So, how do birds survive long migrations? Okay. Before migrating, birds feed heavily to build up fat in their bodies, comma, which provides, okay, I see what they're saying. They said before migrating. So they're saying before they're going to leave for the season, you know. They're saying before the birds are going to leave for the season and migrate, comma, birds feed heavily to build up fat in their bodies, which provides fuel for long journeys. Fascinating, isn't it? Oh, it's fab. Oh, how fab. Yeah. This increases the bird's body weight by 30 to 45%. Wow. The dunlin, D-U-N-L-I-N, the dunlin, a tiny wader, W-A-D like dog, E-R, a tiny wader. I don't know, does that mean wading in water? I don't know. The dunlin, a tiny, oh, okay, so it's a name, the dunlin, I thought it was a town or a city or something. No, the dunlin, D-U-N-L-I-N, is some type of, animal. Because they say the dunlin, comma, and then they're saying what it is a tiny wader. So maybe it wades water, I don't know, but it's saying that the dunlin is a tiny wader. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought Dunlin was like a city or something. So the dunlin, a tiny wader, comma, more than doubles its weight from 1.75 ounces, 50 grams, I assume that little G stands for grams, 50 grams to 3.8 ounces, 110 grams. I assume they mean grams. There's other things. Yeah, I have to learn those things. You have to Google them. It can fly 2,480 miles, 4,000 kilometers, non-stop, period. Some birds can fly across barriers such as the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea. Wow. Where do they get their water when they're flying over a big, long, like Sahara Desert? I don't know. Here is the next top title, which has to do with what we're talking about. Why join a flock? So why do birds join flocks? Okay. You guys with me? Are you with me? Okay. Birds join flocks for their own safety. Okay. In Europe, for example, I meant to Google this, and I didn't do it. And I have to say this word, and I don't know. It must have another meaning. So I have to. It must have another meaning. I've never heard of this having another meaning other than breasts, bosoms. It says birds join flocks for their own safety. Period. In Europe, for example, tits. Tits. What's tits? Because they're not talking about bosoms. Tits have various species. What does that mean, tits? Does any of you guys ever have heard tits being used other than using a dirty way to say bosoms and breasts? Have you ever heard tits used in any other way? No, I haven't. Well, there is. Tits have various species. Okay, that I'm gonna have to Google that tomorrow. Tits have, and you Google it too. Tits have various species. So it sounds like it's the name of some species. Various species. Feed together. Tits have various species feed together. Okay. Well, we got to find out what tits is. As the flock flits, F-L-I-T-S. I never heard that word. As the flock flits from tree to tree. Okay, sounds like kind of jumps from tree to tree or flies from tree to tree. As the flock flits from tree to tree, an attacking sparrowhawk finds it difficult to select a single victim, period. Also, because the flock has so many pairs of watchful eyes. Because the flock has so many pairs of watchful eyes, the hawk is less likely to be able to surprise the tits. Oh, this is weird. The extra pairs, P-A-I-R-S, like in pairs, in couples, the extra pairs of eyes, there you go. The extra pairs of eyes help the birds find more food too. Helps the birds find more food. Okay, are you guys with me? We're on page 5. We only got about three or four more pages. You with me? Stay with me, all right? Get the whole class, please. Okay, what other animals? Well, you must probably are finding this interesting. Yeah, it's so much more interesting and easier to understand than biology, but I still want us to try and learn biology as much as we can. Dip in there sometimes, guys. Okay, what other animals migrate? Many animals migrate from same reasons birds do. For the same reason birds do. The monarch butterfly may fly up to 2,000 miles, 3,200 kilometers from Canada to Mexico each year. Humpback whales make annual trips between summer breeding grounds in warm seas, like the ocean, and winter feeding grounds in the Arctic or Antarctic. And I did confirm that Arctic and Antarctic both have a C always. So I did confirm that because I was all confused about that when I taught that the other day. Okay, which reminds me, it had something on my mind, but that arc made me throw off my thought. Oh, my dad bought me, he knew I was real into outer space. Years ago this was, like 2 decades ago. And so he bought me, it was kind of a difficult, outer space book, but they're talking about migration. What are their animals? See, this is spontaneous storytelling, life stories. See, that's why it's called Miss Melinda's Spontaneous Smart Diva Show. Okay, so here's a story I learned out of the book my dad gave me for outer space. Oh, but it also it went into the ground. It went into the United States. It was part of this. It was part of a space book. I can't explain, but this, they did something about an animal on the coast of the United States of America. I want to teach you this real quick because we're talking about migration. And then when it turned the page and they said, and there are other animals that migrate other than birds, that hit me. Boom! I got to tell my story. I have a more fascinating one than this here. In this book by Dad, The Universe it was called. And so I found a page that looked like I could follow what they were saying, It wasn't real hard. So it was talking about these turtles, and I don't remember the name of them. And I think they get real big, but I'm not sure. Maybe they have small ones and big ones. I'm not sure. But the turtles start up on the northeast coast, north of New York. Like, what's the top? Connecticut? Is it Connecticut the top? Whatever, the tippy top, Idaho State, at the tippy top of the northeast coast that probably touches Canada. That's where these turtles start out, okay? Oh, and I got another one more that I know too. That's a good one. Yeah, I bet you didn't know this stuff, guys. The dolphin. Don't let me forget to tell you about the dolphin. I think it was called a dolphin. Because I never heard of that story before with dolphins. So I hope I have the right word on that story. But let me finish. So the turtles start out, the tippy point of the United States of America, as far northeast as you can get. And they travel down southward along the coast. And they have special, they're special turtles. Not just any turtle can do this. They're special turtles, and they just follow the coast south along the coast of, of the East Coast and the Atlantic Ocean, honey. Like drivers do when they're moving from New York to Florida. Like I met a lot of New Yorkers who do down, you drive the coast. These turtles crawled the coasts. And they went all the way down to the end of Florida and then up Florida and just kept following the coast of America and followed the coast all through the Gulf of Mexico and through all those states and the coast of Louisiana and over to Albuquerque and the Gulf of Mexico. No, now I'm getting over, but how did they get to California? They would have to go out. They didn't go away from America. I don't remember them saying no. They followed the coast of America. Okay, but you get stuck with Mexico in between. Yeah, you got where you lose the coast. They didn't say they went around Mexico. Wouldn't they have had to go if they... In other words, the the freaking cut through the chase, Melinda. The cut through the chase is they wind up there by Seattle, Washington, as far west, northwest as you can get. Well, how did they get through the Mexico part? That I don't know. Because I don't think they would be going all the way. It was supposed to be just around the American coast. I'm not sure about that. But isn't that an interesting story? Have you ever heard of turtles? No other turtles could do that. It's this one kind. And they crawl all the way from the northeast point as far as you can, all the way around the whole coast and land at the farthest northwest you can go. Yeah, and I think it's a seasonal thing too. And then they go back again, I guess. The other exciting story was, I read it on the internet, I believe. Well, it had to be. A dolphin, I think it's a dolphin. Okay. They had a family that lived in Florida on the East Coast, like I have. And I don't know how far south in Florida they were, but they were living like on Atlantic Ocean like me in Florida. And yeah, their house was literally on the beach, you know. And this dolphin became best friends with the family. Yeah, they had a pier, you know, going out. You could walk out on it. They'd jump in the ocean and go swimming. The family. And they became best friends with this dolphin. You're not going to believe this. For some reason, they moved up from the east coast of Florida to the east coast, way up north, real far up north. I don't remember the state, but way up there by Massachusetts and all that. And still on the coast. And would you believe this dolphin was able... Now, how did he know where they were at? They got in a car and drove 100 miles an hour up the coast, you know. This dolphin was not, you know, anywhere near. And one day, not too long after they had driven up there, but it took the dolphin some time, obviously, that dolphin swam all the way up the east coast of America and to the top and was able to find the family again. And they were a big family again. Can you believe that? Google that. Is that possible? I read it in a credible place. I think the internet. I saw it somewhere. But that dolphin smelled them out and found them like dogs do. Yeah. He found the family. Isn't that fascinating? Now, see, you got two fascinating life stories. Spontaneously. See? That's right. I call it spontaneous. Okay, those are fun stories, aren't they? Let's finish this class. Where do swallows, which I've never heard of, and swifts go? So swallows is spelled like you swallow. And swifts are like your swift, SWIFTS. Where do swallows and swifts go? I guess we'll have to Google what that is, unless they tell us. Swifts, are you guys with me? We're on page 6. Did you enjoy those two stories? Yeah, try to Google them, and you'll find out. All right, and we'll Google swallows and swifts, okay? Swifts and swallows, have a pen and paper and write that down to look up on your own. Swifts and swallows spend most of the year feeding on the plentiful insects of Central and Southern Africa. But in the dry season, when there is less food, the birds fly to Europe. Period. It's summer in Europe, so insects are abundant. Period. Let's talk quieter. The birds spend 3 months raising their young in Europe before returning to Africa. Isn't that cute little story? Isn't that cute about little babies? Yeah, isn't that cute? Yeah. Yeah, it's about little babies. Okay, here's this title. Now listen, stay with me. We only got 3 pages left. Can you stay with me? Okay, here we go. How do birds find their way? Question mark. Small birds fly at night to keep cool, comma, using the position of the stars. Wow. Using the position of the stars to find their way. Have you ever heard that one before? I've never heard that one. Wow. Small birds fly at night. Small ones. Why not big ones? Small birds fly at night to keep cool, using the position of the stars to find their way. That's fascinating. Oh my God. I wonder if they see the Big Dipper. I haven't seen the Big Dipper in years. I'm going to go out there and look. I'm not in the mood. Well, we're locked down. It's too late. But I'm going to go after dark and look up in that sky for the Milky, not the Milky. Yeah, we see the Milky Way too, don't we? Is that what I just said? Now I'm getting all mixed up. No, was that the word? The Milky Way? Yeah. Using the position. We used to look all the time as kids or when we were younger, in 20s and 30s. We'd always be outside after dark looking up at the sky at all the stars and the Big Dipper. Yeah, I remember me and my ex-boyfriend, Dan, sitting on the roof of his truck or whatever, looking at the stars. It was so romantic. Okay, small birds fly at night to keep cool, using the position of the stars to find their way. Larger birds, comma, such as birds of prey, fly on hot water currents. Now, this is fascinating. Are you listening to this one? Larger birds, such as birds of prey, fly on hot air currents provided by the sun's heat. They fly by day using the sun and landmarks as guides. Birds like homins, Homin, is that a humming? Is that a G or an S? Birds like humming. Now that's a G, not an S. Birds like humming, H-O-M-ing. Humming, homing. Birds like humming. Pigeons of a compass, quote unquote. C-O-M, like .com, and you pass the test. So it's compass. Birds like humming. Pigeons have a compass. You know, like, yeah, you could buy those round things to see what, if you're going north, south, east, or west, if you're lost in the woods. Is that what they're talking about, compass? It says birds like humming and pigeons have compass in their brains. Wow, in their brains. Fascinating. That works with the Earth's magnetic field to help the bird navigate. Have you ever heard this? I'm teaching you something you've never heard of with birds, and neither have I. I didn't want to teach birds for a while. I was like thinking we'll be sick of it or something. Like, this just taught us some serious, fascinating info. And then my 2 life stories are fascinating too, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. We have 4 pages. All right, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to read fast. Will you stay with me? We just got 4 pages, all right? All right, I'll talk fast. That was fun, though, what we just learned. All that you learned. Watch this class again and listen to what I just told you all about the birds. You know, the little ones, the little ones doing the, whatever it said. Following the stars. Watch that again. And the big ones, using the sun's heat and landmarks. Listen to this over and over. I'm going to. And then you'll hear my 2 fascinating stories, and you can tell all your friends. Yeah. All right. So we only got 4 pages, so will you guys stay with me? Okay? All right. the title of this is Surviving Extremes. Okay, birds are extremely versatile and have adapted to almost every habitat on Earth. This includes many areas inhospitable to humans. This includes many areas inhospitable to humans, such as frozen Antarctica or the fiercely hot Sahara Desert. And these birds, I guess, can do this. Okay, but each species must have special abilities in order to survive. Okay, now we're down to 3 pages. You with me? Okay. What do ocean-going birds drink? Ocean-going is one word, just so you know. So the title of this, ocean-going's one word, and the title is What Do Ocean-Going Birds Drink? Seabirds spend most of their time near the sea. I gotta cross my legs. My right leg's getting hurt. Seabirds spend most of their time near the sea, but the salt water is undrinkable, period. Instead, these birds, such as albatrosses, puffins, gulls, and petrels, I'm not going to spell all that, get all of their fresh water from the animals, usually fish or squid. Well, we've heard of all that they eat. However, the birds still absorb a lot of salt. The birds have a special gland at the base of their beak that gets rid of the excess. Okay, period. They often sneeze, achoo, in quotation marks. They often sneeze to expel the salt. Well, if you ever lived on the oceans like I have, from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico Ocean, I've lived on Sanibel Island and worked on Sanibel Island. So I've been on all the coasts of America living there. Okay, second to last. Okay, title. How do birds survive in heat and cold? In hot weather, a bird flattens its feathers. Now listen to this, it's interesting. In hot weather, a bird flattens its feathers so that heat flows away from its body. Period. It also pants, P-A-N-T-S, like pants. Also pants to let moisture evaporate from its mouth. Period. In the winter, a bird keeps warm by ruffling up its feathers to enlarge the layer of insulation around its body. Have you ever heard that? This is an interesting class I'm teaching tonight. I didn't know all this exciting was in here like this. Okay, so insulation, the layer, so he ruffles up its feathers to enlarge the layer of insulation around its body, period. Shivering helps by burning fat reserves to create heat, period. Are you listening, guys? On a severe winter's night, a small bird, such as a wren, W-R-E-N, can lose up to half its body weight this way. Okay, stay with me. Pallas. These are 3 kinds of birds. Pallas, P-A-L-L-A-S. Another bird is sand grouse. Sand, like you're on the beach, sand. One word, sand grouse. G-R-O-S-E. Sand grouse is another bird. Atlantic puffin is another bird. And common wren, W-R-E-N. I wrote those birds down for you guys. So we can look them up ourselves and Google them if you want to learn about each of those birds. See, you could do some studying from Miss Melinda on your own too, see. How does the sand grouse, we're going to learn something about the sand grouse right here. How does the sand grouse get water for its thirsty chicks. Oh, it's so cute. It's going to be getting water for its thirsty little chicks, his little chickadees. The sand grouse, which lives in the dry parts of Africa and Asia, nests, nests, nests in remote areas to avoid predators, period. This means it's far away from water. Listening, guys? Listen to me now. Yeah, it's far away from water. For an adult, this is no problem, because it can fly great distances. However, to provide water for newborn chicks, for newborn little baby chickies, Melinda, to provide for the little baby chickies, the male soaks his breast and belly feathers in water, then flies back to the nest and allows the chicks, the little chickies, Melinda, to suckle moisture from his feathers. So to suck moisture from his feathers. Did you ever hear that one before? I think I picked, there's a whole bunch of more pages there's a whole bunch of more pages on birds. But I think I picked out the best part. I bet a lot of this you didn't know. I didn't. It's fascinating, and my 2 spontaneous life stories. Okay, well, since I did 2 spontaneous life stories during the middle of class, then we're just going to call this a night. I'm dying to get my little Betty by under my comforters and blankie and YouTube some movies and see if I can get me some hot cocoa. Okay, I will see you guys next class. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And everybody hit my thumbs up button. And please subscribe. And I love all my subscribers and my fans. I love all you guys. And I will see you next class. Good night.